How's it going, everybody? Just a quick update in terms of the cleaner Tanuki trade that I have. We have 11 days to go on all of these positions that I have here. So if you look at the P&L profile right now, the dotted line is representing what the amount that I would get if I were to close the position now. And I wanted to make this video real quick as I just realized that we're losing value and time right now if the market continues to puke the profits that I had. It was a little bit higher earlier and I should have took it then, but this is to demonstrate sort of the best case scenario and the beauty behind this Tanuki trade. So if we compare our normal short put positions, all 5 of them right here by themselves, the max P&L profit would be $508.70 for the same time period that it would have basically expired, and that's with 11 days to go, right? So 11 days to go to get to that 508 max P&L. Currently, right now, it sits at 418. Now, if we were to add the short, I can't really show you just the Jade Lizard portion of it because I can't separate that last piece right there. But if you could imagine that it would just sort of create a tail down here and then just kind of taper off infinitely, that would be just only like a $273 kind of max profit if it were to continuously move in that direction or just stay in this zone right here. The max P&L profit would be roughly the same, around the $511 kind of area, but it would have to be within this zone right here, which is a dollar value for Soxel at $30 to $38. We are well beyond that right now at $39, right? And the best case scenario at the time, and still kind of currently right now, with that one extra call position right here, is that we have a max P&L at 530. It was quite higher earlier. It was like maybe high 500s, closer to like 590ish to almost 600 when the stock price was at $41, and that could have been an appealing time to actually have closed the position. And I recall when I first put on these positions, the Tanuki trade, is that you have to monitor really closely about this dotted line area relative to the amount of time you have left, because this dotted line is only as good as you closing the position at the date in which it's showing. So this calendar right here represents that it's currently today at February 12th. Now watch what happens if I were to move forward in time, let's say just a couple of days. Now it's starting to flatten out, and then later on over time it's going to actually decrease. And that's important to note, that it'll decrease and reducing your actual overall profit potential if you were to do that. So in this situation right here, where the P&L curve is relatively still steeper if we were to keep moving forward with our stock price, right? So if the stock just kept going up and up and up, and that's great, right? However, we also have time working against us. And in fact, the theta on that long position, specifically on all the long positions, is negative 49.47. So what you can use that theta to remind yourself is that every single day that the stock does not move, let's say it just stays flat, it will just simply bleed off $49.47 worth of value. So you have to look at theta as your time decay. And so as tempting as it is to want to just see this kind of just keep moving up and up and up and kind of beat time, or like beat the the clock in the 11 days to go, to just kind of see if I can squeeze out even more value on this trade. If you look down here, the stock price would have to exceed basically, I would say, $42, $43 in the next 11 days. Now, it does have the potential to do that. And don't get me wrong, we've been on a bullish move this entire time. And when it will stop, nobody knows. But what I do know is that at this current value right here at 550, now 543, because it's moving up a bit, I can lock in pretty much the same above my total, or above my highest P&L right here at 511.08, well exceeding that max value of that fat like strangle position that's built into this, and just lock in a higher rate and just call it a day, right? And do it 11 days earlier than expiration. So I save myself 11 days. I can open a new position if I wanted to, or vice versa. I don't have to wonder if I'm going to get stuck in this zone and then lose that potential profitability, even though there is still the potential to move even higher. But at the same time, I don't have to risk it, right? It's the have my cake and eat it too kind of scenario. And this is the power of this Tanuki trade right here, especially with it being clean like this. So you basically have your Jade Lizard, just with the exception of having one less short call in that position, in order for you to basically lock in that profit. Or I could turn this into a Jade Lizard by simply adding a short call right here, increasing my P&L by my credit by 300 right here, and then when you look at all this together, it converts it back into a Jade Lizard, making the P&L profitability of anything below 39.60 something a straight $800 profit. So if I'm thinking that there might be a pullback, that I could profit $800 from this entire trade, and that's tempting too. I just don't have the conviction right now that it will pull back and I lose up, most of my upside right here. I mean, 411 is still pretty decent, but simultaneously, it's one of those things where it's like, do you take 500 and some change now and just call it a day, save yourself 11 days, or play 11 days in and be able to get and milk that extra theta decay when it pulls back into this region, which is good for all the way until $29. But if it keeps moving up, you've just limited your upside potential moving forward here. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, this particular setup, to be able to make that choice. And I think regardless what I do, the fact that I had that power to either increase my P&L if the stock were to pull back, or leave it alone and let it ride for higher P&L, or just simply take the profits now as we speaks a lot of volumes in terms of how powerful that position is. And for moving forward, any single time I'm like remotely bullish, I'm basically just going to be setting up that particular trade. One short put, all right, to set up my, the leg of the credit of when I'm going to buy that long position, that long call, and then from there on out, convert them to Jade Lizards, keep them, Tanukis, you name it. That's pretty much going to be my setup from here on out. So yeah, for now, I'm thinking pretty much just, being happy with taking a half a grand now, not having to worry about whether or not I'm going to take profit, more profit from a pullback. I don't know if there will be a pullback. It's due for one in 11 days. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But nevertheless, I have that option. I think I'll just simply close the position and stay liquid and hang tight to see where the trend ends up moving, and then, participate and don't anticipate. And that's sort of the power of setting this system up and being able to have decision-making power afterwards, which is, I don't know any kind of trade that really does that for you. And I think it speaks volumes in terms of how powerful this setup is. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll see you in the next one.